Before I start the review, I want to share some super cool news. After I finished editing the video you're about to watch, I sent it over to the owners of X2 with hopes they would sponsor an idea. And lucky for you guys, they were totally down. So much so that they doubled my offer. I've been wanting to do a giveaway for a long time, but I've been saving it for a product that I 100% believe in. This video talks about two products I can confidently say meets that requirement. Make sure you check out my Instagram for the details of the giveaway, and I'm glad you found this video because you will soon see why you won't want to miss it. If you don't want to wait for the giveaway, X2 was cool enough to include a code you can use at checkout for both the products I reviewed in this video. You can check the description for more info on that, and I hope you enjoy my review. There are a ton of options when it comes to charging handles and muzzle devices, especially these days, but I want to introduce you guys to a brand that you may not have heard of yet. Their name is X2 Dev Group. I've been lucky enough to get to know these guys personally, and they are nothing short of genius. They are raising the bar of weapon technology. They work mostly with the military solving their problems, but lucky for us, they have taken that technology and released a good amount of it that everybody can utilize. As they move forward with their industry-leading designs, it makes me happy to see that there's finally a company addressing the issues we have faced for years, even down to things as simple as a charging handle. Just like in previous videos I've done, I'm going to cover the pros and cons of my previous charging handle I was running and compare it to why I switched and now run the Jackal by X2. For quite a while I was running the BCM Gunfighter, which in all honesty I don't have many complaints about, but that's also partially because I didn't know what I was missing out on. The BCM is well made, it's a good size, and overall it's a solid choice in my opinion. It did what it was supposed to do. But the biggest difference is this charging handle didn't do much of anything to actually solve some of the problems you may face and I have faced. So I'm going to dive right into one of the biggest pros of the Jackal in order to better describe the cons of practically every other charging handle on the market right now. The first pro you can see here is they use laterally inverted levers. So what does that mean? The biggest difference between every other charging handle and the Jackal is where the release pivots. On the average charging handle, you're putting pressure on the outside of the lever in order to get it to release. One of the problems with that is you run the risk of having equipment snagging, potentially pulling your weapon out of battery. Any pressure to the outside of the lever could release it. With the Jackal, you have to put pressure on the inside, which one, will completely reduce the chances of unlatching from snagging on gear or whatever it might get caught on, and two, removes the stress on the lever's pivot points, which will keep your shaft from bending because you're pulling straight back and keeping the pressure on the center line of the charging handle. So instead of pulling to one side or the other, depending on where the release is located, the closer you are to the pivot point, the more linearly you'll be pulling back, as is with the Jackal. So no more bent or broken charging handles if you've ever dealt with that. This is a problem seen more by the military because they are working in different conditions than we are as the general public. But why wouldn't you want the same added reliability in your own defense weapon? Besides that, these are super well made out of 775 T6 aluminum, 100% CNC machined. They are type 3 hard anodized and cerakoted, and they even have a few different color options if you want. I've been running this charging handle for a few weeks now and I absolutely love it. It's fantastic. The design is superior over every other charging handle I've ever used. Its build quality is phenomenal and it's really obvious these guys know exactly what they're doing. They are raising the bar for charging handles moving forward. Now for muzzle devices, many of you are probably running Surefires, battle arms, or maybe precision armament. Really, the muzzle devices only have a few purposes and half of them don't even really apply to civilians unless your training involves it. For example, with my training, I tend to shoot in close quarters with others, and we often do drills that involve being within a very short distance of a muzzle. Many of you probably know what it feels like to be next to a muzzle when the round leaves the barrel. Without the right device on, it can hurt and sometimes even impair your ability to do your job in a sense. At the end of the day, if you could have a muzzle device that could mitigate muzzle flash as well as an A2, throw the blast and energy forward away from you and the people next to you, and also have the added benefit of recoil mitigation, that's exactly why you would want to run the VF18. Your hearing in any situation is paramount and protecting it is really important. And it's even more important that you're not the problem causing the people next to you to not be able to do their job or lose their hearing. Is the VF18 for everybody? Well, during X2's training, they found that these are highly effective to mitigate what I talked about before if you have an AR with a barrel 10 inches or longer. Are they loud? Yeah, especially on shorter barrel ARs, but that's to be expected. Regardless, the results will still be effective and, in my opinion, absolutely worth it in the end. The biggest difference you're going to notice is where it's loud. I can have somebody shoot directly over my shoulder, like muzzle right next to my ear, and all I'm going to be able to feel is that bolt carrier group moving. Seriously, that's it. Like I said before, these work so well, I can do this without any issues at all. The other benefit to this muzzle device is because all that energy is being pushed so far out the front, when laying prone, you're probably used to dust flying back in your face when shooting on loose dirt. With this muzzle device, everything is being pushed forward, and there's nothing coming back impairing your vision. It's really something you just need to try for yourself to believe, but I'll try to demonstrate in a few videos to give you guys a better idea. Even while running this on my 7.5 300 blackout build, I can absolutely notice the benefits over any other muzzle device I've ever run. These guys are solving problems, and I love to see that kind of innovation that actually makes a difference instead of just, looking cooler. So, do I recommend the Jackal X? 100% yes. Its features are revolutionary, and it's overall the best charging handle I have ever run. Would I recommend the VF18X? I would say absolutely yes, especially if you're running a 10-inch barrel or longer, and even more so because if your whole team or squad is running these, you'll have a much better experience at the range, and especially when it actually counts. You can find these two in my kit listed in the description. That's it for today, and I'll see you guys in the next one.